But is it ever hard to cover an injury? Like you ever think, wow, it's not good?
Thankfully, I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't had to cover anything, any sort of life-threatening injury live. But if that's the case, I mean, you just have to cover it the best you can. You know, you get the information from the PR guy or the doctor or whoever you need to talk to, and make sure. I mean, I'm basically in this whole game. I'm basically just a liaison. My job is to take the information from point A and deliver it to point B. I'm basically the messenger. So if that's how you look at it, I mean, you just got to be sure that you do it the right way, and you'll be just fine. Go ahead, bud. No, you go.
Yeah. When did you figure out you want to be a sports reporter?
Well, I did sports in high school as a newspaper, and then I did some radio in college. And I don't know, I just like the energy that comes from TV. I mean, there's a certain sort of, those of you that do get into the business, there's a certain sort of, there's a certain rush, if you will, that comes with being on. I mean, you're live on TV, it's like, all right, go. You know, it's something that you kind of almost become addicted to after a while, kind of having that rush that comes with it. So I did radio. Radio was all right, but I just thought that TV was the best decision for me. I think I decided that my sophomore year of college. That's when I thought I made up my mind. That's what I wanted to do. Go ahead, sir.
With you and George,
Okay.
we see 2 to 3, maybe 4 on-air people during a broadcast. Not everybody here necessarily aspires to be an on-air talent.
Right.
How many people, if you can show with the students here, how many people are involved with, say, a Piston broadcast, from cameras to working in as an audio board guy, directing,
Yeah.
TD?
I mean, we've got, I think, between 6 and 8 camera guys right now. Then in the television truck, where they make sure everything is, we got the director, the producer, the audio guy, the graphics guy, the tape guy. There's probably a good 15 people in the truck that go into that. And then George and Greg also have a stage manager who tells them when they're on and when to come back from commercial break and hands them promo cards to read on the air. Then they also have a statistician that sits next to them that gives them, hey, the 3rd foul on Rodney Stuckey, the 4th team foul, Pistons on an 11-1 run. I mean, those nuggets don't just all come from the top of our heads all the time. You have somebody feeding us that information, and everybody that is part of the broadcast is just as important as the next person. So for those of you that want to be a producer, or you want to be an editor, or you want to be a camera person, I mean, all those jobs you'll find are very rewarding. And if you guys ever want to get an internship, Fox Sports Detroit is great in terms of the behind-the-scenes aspect of things. Go ahead, sir.
Whenever you have a first intermission or second intermission, usually interviewing like the coach or player, is that usually scheduled ahead of time, or is it kind of randomly, like, well, this guy's available?
Well, how we'll do it is, like case in point last night, Greg Monroe had 15 points in the first half. And if the Pistons are leading at the half, we'll get a player walking off the court. If we're losing at the half, then we'll do a coach's interview with an assistant coach towards the end of halftime. So at that point, we'll go back and talk to the PR guy, and he'll say, all right, we're going to give you Coach D. Brown. So then we'll come back and do an interview with D. Brown. But last night, Greg Monroe was the story in the first half, so the PR guy knows that I need to get an interview. So I'll go to him and say, hey, I need to get Greg Monroe. He's like, yeah, he's the story, we'll get him for you. And then he pulls him aside as they're walking off the court, and he'll do the interview. Post-game the same way. Whoever is the story of the game, that's who we get. We talk it over with the PR guy, he'll be like, yeah, that's a good get, bring him to us. Ask him 3 or 4 questions, and away we go. Go ahead. Go back.
Is it more challenging to do a play-by-play color analysis or the sideline reporting for the Pistons?
I mean, they all have their fair share of challenges. I haven't done play-by-play since college, although I did have to do a Tigers game last year. We lost communication with the truck, which was down at Comerica Park, and I was in studio. As you guys who watch the show know, we have a studio presence as well during the games, and I wrapped up the pregame show, and I'm taking off my suit and ready to go grab lunch because I'm not on until the postgame show. And the producer comes running out of the studio. Hold on a second. They're like, we need you to do play-by-play. I'm like, play-by-play? And I literally had 30 seconds notice. So they dragged me back in the studio, and I do the play-by-play from the studio of the Tiger game because Mario and Rod, they had like electronic issues with the truck, so they had no play-by-play from the park. So I had to sit in my chair in the studio and call the game as if I was there. So that's another example of kind of flying by the seat of your pants. You have to be ready for anything. So they grabbed me some lineups, and I was on just like that. And I'd never called you know, some people, it's their dream to be a play-by-play guy for Major League Baseball, and I got to call one inning just by default. And I've never done any baseball play-by-play in my entire life. But you watch enough games, you know what to do, and you know how to call it, and what needs to be said. And you know, I didn't have time to get nervous because I was on so quick. They're like, "You're on." And you just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
So there's different challenges to each of them, but that's kind of what makes it fun. Go ahead. You had a question?
Did you ever look up to someone on TV or radio growing up?
I worked in Lansing, and for those of you that are, I don't know if anybody's like from mid-Michigan area, there's a guy, Tim Stout, who's kind of a Lansing legend, so to speak. A guy who's been up there for 30 some odd years, gave Magic Johnson his nickname of Magic. He's been up there forever, and that was the first guy that I interned under, so he was kind of like my first influence. And then when I came down to Detroit, Dan Miller, who's the radio voice of the Lions, sports guy at Channel 2, he kind of took me under his wing there at Channel 2. And now here at Fox Sports Detroit, I mean, Keating is a mentor, and George, and Mario and Rod, and all those guys. You're always trying to get better, right? Anything in life, you're always trying to get better. So if you can pick the brain of the guys that are already up here doing it, trying to find out like little tricks of the trade, so to speak, anything you can pick up along the way is only going to help you down the road.
One more.
Okay.
With the students having this opportunity so young.
How old are you guys anyway? What's you guys high school?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Little.
How important is the opportunity or the opportunities for various people to get a chance to cut their teeth a little bit and learn about the opportunities now that you actually experienced in college on the broadcast side, writing side in high school?
Yeah, I mean, anything you guys can get your hands on, do it. And like I said at the top, when you're learning hands-on, that's the best way to learn. You're going to make some mistakes along the way, but we've all done it, and you learn from them, and you don't let them happen again. I mean, in the newspaper, in radio, in TV, get your hands on as many internships as you can. Anything that you can do to kind of better yourself in that regard. And plus, the other thing about it is you learn what you like and what you don't like. So if you try a bunch of different things, if you have an internship as a cameraman, or you have an internship as an editor or producer, and you do on air, and you're like, well, hey, I kind of like being a producer better. So the more stuff you get your hands on. Plus, the other way that helps you too is on your resume. The more you know how to do, the better off you're going to be, the more attractive you're going to be to a prospective employer. I mean, nowadays, they have guys that can, you know, shoot their own stuff, edit it, write their show, and then do the news. I mean, that's kind of what I used to do in Lansing back in the day. But it's good just to kind of take advantage of any opportunity that you can. A lot of the internships, most of the internships in this line of work aren't paid, so you have to work a side job or two to make ends meet, so to speak. But we've all had to do it, and you know, like I said, if you guys love what you're doing, the money won't matter, and you'll truly find that this is a very rewarding field to get into. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and hopefully we'll be seeing you down here in the game pretty soon.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Vicki, did you want to come up and greet and say hello to everybody while you're here?
Sure.
Vicki Foley is the president of the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association. Vicki?
I wanted to thank all of you for coming. I think this was very nice, both speakers, and what an excellent opportunity. And I think, as you heard all night, everything that you can do, if this is where your heart is in sports broadcasting, do it. Take advantage of every opportunity that you have, and you will find your way. Thank you very much for coming.
Welcome Detroit City TV. Tommy Morris, thank you for coming today. Please go to his website, DCTV,
DetroitCity.tv.
DetroitCity.tv, to watch a replay of this event today. Are there any questions before we break? Any general questions you guys want to ask? I'm so glad Mr. Skinner asked that question. Thank you. You know, it's not just the person you see on the camera, as Mr. Ryan Field was saying. It's the behind the scenes. There's so many people involved in the broadcast, and you guys know that are on the radio, part of a radio club right now, how important it is for everybody. Everybody contributes to the whole. Everybody contributes, you know, whether you're behind the scenes or not. One thing that they didn't talk about is get involved. Now you have YouTube around, you have bloggers, you have the opportunity to write and to blog. So as you're getting into your high school and college years, find out if there's some blogging opportunities as well, because there's a lot of writers that are doing that now. A lot of newspapers are online. Of course, there's, you know, a lot of the paper newspapers, unfortunately, and magazines are going by the wayside. So you might not have those opportunities for newspaper, but a lot of them are online, mlive.com. The Oakland Press and the Detroit News, everybody's got an online edition. So don't forget about those opportunities as well. So, and I know Tommy has a real good internship program at Detroit City TV as well. So take advantage, again, of any opportunities you have, working with people like Ken and Tom and their venture with Advanced Media. What a great job they're doing. And so be part of that as well. And as Vicki and I know, we invite your membership in the Detroit Sports Broadcasters as a junior or student member. It's only $20 a year. There's a one-time $20 initiation fee. So the first time you write a check for $40, but then every year after that it's $20. So we'd love to have you as part of the Detroit Sports Broadcasters. Please see me. I have some membership applications in the back.
That Money Shot presentation brought to you by Detroit City Production Company. Squeal like a pig. Squeal like a pig. Ha 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 ha.